Hello, hello, my friends. I am back. This is the promised second video talking about part 2 of the Kringle Candle Halloween collection. If you missed it a little bit earlier today, I did upload a video going over the Boo Crew, which are the ombre jars that will be available when Kringle launches their part 2 of their Halloween collection on Friday, August 15th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So this collection is the Spellbound collection. It's going to look a little bit different than last year. Last year they had like some, I think they were black jars. I'm trying to remember, what they looked like. I did not get those in PR last year. I politely declined it last year. But this year I said, you know what, go ahead and send things to me if they don't work out. I can always move them along. But yeah, I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys on this collection. So we had part 1 of Kringle Halloween released the other day. And like I said, this collection will be available in about a little less than 2 weeks now on Friday, August 15th. Sorry, I've got a hair that like keeps coming into my face here. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you are new. A big thank you to Kringle Candle for sending these to me in PR. As always, I keep it real with you guys, let you guys know what my honest thoughts are. So unlike the Boo Crew was definitely more cutesy vintage jars. We had some gourmands, some very sweet fragrances in there. This fragrance, I would say like collection or profile, like these profiles are a little bit different. I actually still really like these fragrances, but when I get to talking about them, you're going to see that they are kind of just a little bit different vibe than the other collection. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about them. As always, you guys, I will have listed in the description box down below all of the fragrance notes for you. I'll have timestamps as well as my affiliate discount code when these candles are available. I believe that these ones will retail for $30. The ombre jars are $34. These have, let's see, how much wax do they have in them? The ombre jars that I did the video on earlier today had 22 ounces of 100% soy wax. These are 16.5 ounces. So these are a little bit less and they will retail for a little bit lower price point. These are $30. They are 2 wicks and they do have these little crystals in them. So why don't I go ahead and just talk about the fragrances. The first one we have here is the fragrance Spellbound. No, it's not the fragrance Spellbound. It's part of the Spellbound collection. It is Divine Clarity. There is a little like chant that's put on the background. Truthfully, you guys, I'm not going to read off the chant. I'm just not really comfortable with that kind of stuff. I just don't really want to open myself up to that. It's not really in line with my personal beliefs. So we have Divine Clarity. Fragrance notes here are citrus, fougere, sheer linens, resins, musk, and myrrh. This has a pour date of July 22nd, 2025. So these were poured a little bit later than the Boo Crew. And you'll see in here, this one has some like, they have kind of like clear crystals in here. I'm sure the B-roll, you can see it a little bit better, but these ones have kind of like a clear crystal. Now this actually, the vibe that you're going to get from a lot of this collection is that it's very natural, almost aromatherapy, very almost like spa-like, I would say. These are very calming fragrances, I would say. Yeah, I would say that these are a little bit more inspired by like natural elements. That's the way that I would put it, a lot of these fragrances. There's none that are going to be like really heavy on like incense or whatnot. This one to me, very clean, very, very clean, but not like laundry cleaner. I actually really like that. Citrus, fougere, sheer linens, yeah, resins, musk, and myrrh. There's a little bit of woodsiness to it, but not overly woodsy. The citrus lends some brightness to it. It's a very like kind of like bright fragrance. Truthfully, this line of fragrances, if you are a seasonal burner, none of these really scream fall to me. But I could see these being like really nice fragrances to burn like in a bedroom or like maybe like to unwind. I feel like this is a really nice fragrance as well if like you've freshly cleaned your home or you're running laundry and you just want your house to smell really clean without it smelling overly citrusy or overly like any kind of like specific, it's not like clean cotton or anything like that. It's just a very nice, clean fragrance. So that is the scent Divine Clarity. I think I did mention that there are 2 wicks in this vessel, and then they come kind of with this little silver lid. The next fragrance is Abundant Blessings. They all have kind of these like little symbols on the front. I don't know. Again, I'm not really into all of that kind of stuff, but if you are, I guess that's whatever. Abundant Blessings. We have fragrance notes of shimmering citrus, wild honey, musk, orange flower, bergamot, warm spice. Now, this one, the crystals in here are a little bit more kind of like an ambery orangey color. This is very much like an orange blossom, but very, very juicy orange as well mixed in there. This again is a really nice, fresh, clean scent. I actually think that this one would pair really nicely with the Divine Clarity for like a really like clean home type of vibe. In fact, I might light these 2 up today after I get done filming this, because I'm going to do a little bit of house cleaning. And I think that this would be like a really nice vibe going on, especially if the weather is still really warm and you're somebody who like doesn't necessarily want to like dive into fall just yet. I feel like this would be a great fragrance. This would also be really nice after the holidays, I think, like when you're doing a bunch of like cleaning and decluttering. But yeah, it's slightly powdery, not overly powdery, but it's kind of like a mix between like an orange blossom, so like a floral scent, but you've got some juicy orange. You've got a brightness of bergamot in the background there. It's a very citrusy type of fragrance. Wild honey, musk. Yeah, it's kind of perfumey and mature smelling. But again, I like it. So I think I'm going to pair this one with a Divine Clarity today, just to kind of, just to kind of make things smell really clean in my house while I'm doing that. Okay, Inner Fire. We've got, picture here of some flames on the front. And like I said, they all have chants on the back. Fragrance notes are blood orange, fiery spice, cinnamon bark, clove bud, amber, and citron. And this one, we've got some little like red crystals in here. Okay, this fragrance, you know what this reminds me a lot of? Yesterday when I stuck my nose into this, if you are familiar with Yankee Candle's Home Sweet Home, that's what this reminds me of. The first thing that hit my nose was the clove and the cinnamon. And that's still what I smell mostly. Although I will detect a slight element of orange in the background there. It doesn't really give me like orange pomander vibes, but it is a very like nice, cozy type of fragrance. I could see this one being really good for going into the fall and winter months. If you're like me, I tend to like to burn spicier fragrances during that time of the year. But yeah, this is very much red hot cinnamon. If you are somebody who does not like red hot cinnamon, you're not going to like this candle. Steer away from it. But if you do like a very, very spicy scent mixed with that clove, then I think that you're going to be pretty happy with that. It's pretty strong on cold sniff here, but that is the fragrance Inner Fire. And then what was the one that I said that, Inner Fire, I said I think would actually go really nicely with this candle, which is Sacred Protection. We have fragrance notes on Sacred Protection are Evergreen, Aldehydic, Cedarwood, Fir Needle, Sage, Wood, Incense, Amber, Woodsmoke, and Balsam. And this one has, some crystals on it. You guys, this smells like a Christmas tree. I'm just going to say this smells like a Christmas tree. I actually think that this would pair really nicely with the Inner Fire if you're kind of wanting those like evening, winter, almost Christmassy type of vibes. I think the 2 of them would definitely give Christmas vibes to me. Yeah, this is very much a tree fragrance. It's a warm tree fragrance to my nose. It's not like an outdoorsy in the cold air. I don't get any cold air vibes. This is very much like a freshly cut tree. I've always said, to me personally, you guys, like I don't live in an area where I have like a bunch of trees around me. I live in the desert of Arizona. So if I want to go, like there's ponderosa pines, there's aspens, but like as far as like there's being a bunch of fir trees or spruce trees or anything around me, I don't really have that. I will say I do smell evergreen, cedarwood, and fir in here. The fir is definitely like the needle. It's kind of like a more like astringent tree scent, but there's a warmth to it, which I think is coming from the cedarwood. I get some balsam in there too. It's really, really good, you guys. So if you tend to like tree fragrances, like Christmas tree fragrances, you're going to like Sacred Protection. It does feel a little bit out of the wheelhouse though, because I will just say that like it kind of, to me, I'm kind of like, but then they're going to be going into Christmas right after Halloween. So I don't know if I would want a Halloween candle that smells like Christmas, but whatever. I guess there's something for everybody. The next fragrance is Healing Light. And we have fragrance notes on Healing Light of bergamot, tea leaves, eucalyptus, white mint, aloe, and musk. And this one has kind of like some little turquoise looking, rocks, crystals, whatever in here. Again, I'm not into crystals and all of that kind of stuff. So, okay, this one's very clean as well. It's not as laundry-like clean as this. Like the Divine Clarity has a little bit more of like I would say more like of a laundry bend to it without it being, because see, I don't typically like laundry scents and I really, really like this one. The Divine Clarity smells good. This is more like, I get that bergamot and the tea. I definitely get some tea in here. The eucalyptus as well, I'm smelling. Yeah, tea leaves, eucalyptus, like it's definitely in there. Aloe. This is more like a watery, clean type of fragrance, kind of aquatic. It's not cologne-like as well at all, but this gives me very much spa vibes. I feel like a really like you would walk into a spa when I go in and get a massage or something. This is kind of like what the room smells like. Very clean, very nice, calming. But yeah, fresh. Very nice. But my nose definitely detects tea leaves, eucalyptus, bergamot. For sure. It's a very like bright and clean type of fragrance. So that is Healing Light. And then the last fragrance is Tranquil Mind. Yeah, we have Divine Clarity, Tranquil Mind. Here we have fragrance notes of French lavender, chamomile flower, driftwood, bergamot, and white musk. And this one has kind of like dark purple stones. This one leans a little bit more like masculine cologne. I feel like but not super heavy like say Polo was. This leans more like there's elements about this that kind of remind me of Seaside in the country candle lineup that came out in their like spring summer country candle lineup. It's kind of masculine in that way, but not like overtly masculine cologne. You get lavender for sure in here. What else do we have? Chamomile flower, driftwood. I do smell driftwood. Tiny little bit of bergamot, white musk. There's a little bit of perfuminess to it. So this one's nice as well. I have to tell you, all 6 of these fragrances, even though I will just be honest with you guys, the whole like Spellbound vibe, you guys can tell it's not my vibe. I've said it several times before. It's not in line with my personal beliefs. And so a lot of this stuff, to be honest, I get kind of like, it kind of kooks me out, to be honest. Although, it just is. I'm not passing judgment on anybody. It just, I'm not comfortable with it in terms of like the spiritual aspects, but just from like the fragrance, like enjoying the fragrance on its own. These fragrances are really nice. I don't think any of these fragrances are offensive. The only one that I could see people might being like about is the Inner Fire, because it does have such a very strong red hot cinnamon and clove note. Just it'll smack you in the face. But the rest of these are very much like, they just remind me of like spa aromatherapy type of fragrances. And so that's the way that I'm going to view them. I don't believe in healing crystals or anything like that. So I will burn them and try to give my thoughts for you guys. Now, I did mention in my empties video that I uploaded yesterday that I am going on vacation in the middle of this month. And so I'm going to be really honest with you guys, peeling back the curtain. I'm going to try to get these to the point where I can do post-burn reviews, but I just have a sneaking suspicion that the Boo Crew collection is probably going to be in a little bit higher demand, and that those are the ones that I think people are going to want to see reviews on a little bit quicker. I have a feeling that like the Spellbound collection might not sell out right away. I mean, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that the Boo Crew collection will be a bit higher of a sellout risk, and so I'm going to try to prioritize getting those post-burn reviews done. But if I get any of these to the point where I can do some post-burn reviews prior to leaving for my trip, I will make sure to do that. And if not, if I can't do like a full, like all 6 dedicated post-burn reviews, I think what I'll do is I will sit back down, kind of like I'm doing in this video, and go over for you how the candles have burned for me. So that way you guys can have some type of an idea. I will make sure to get burns in on all of them before I go, but just wanted to put that out there for you guys, that I think that that's the trajectory that I'm going to go when it comes to like planning out what I'm going to film and what I'm going to review prior to my departure. So let me know in the comment section down below, are you interested in any of these fragrances? I'm pretty happy to say that I will just say, like, I'm pretty happy that KRINGLE didn't go too conceptual with this Spellbound collection, nor with the Boo Crew. I feel like this part 2, they kind of stayed in their lane. I feel like they, you know, I think the Boo Crew leans a little bit more gourmand, although there's only a couple in there that are genuinely have more gourmand aspects. And this one, definitely they stuck with like fresh. They didn't try to get too cutesy or floral or conceptual, and I think that I really appreciate that. So it seems like they are trying to offer something for everybody, but also keeping in line with the Halloween packaging, which a lot of people are wanting. So anyways, you guys, again, please let me know if any of these are on your wish list, what you guys think. And because I'm always curious to know what you guys are, what catches your eye. So please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I should have more candle reviews coming up for you guys this week. And I just want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. Until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.